Call this meeting to order. Start with the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, roll call.
Hart. Money.
Here.
Saltzman.
Present.
Smith.
Here.
And Jones.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, this time we'll open up the meeting for public comment. Somebody'd like to say something, state your name and your address.
My name is Nicole Shores. I live at 976 North English Street in Braidwood. All right, 2 meetings ago when I was here, you said that there are no dead end signs. Sorry, excuse me, Faye. There are no dead end signs on cul-de-sacs. Guess what? I found 2. And one of them even has 2 dead end signs at it. So take a look at East Bagheera Road and West 2nd going into the park. Also, I want a no outlet sign, not a dead end sign. Just for safety. I know, crazy to ask. We only have 1 entrance into our whole subdivision and 1 exit. There's 2 other subdivision-like places. They have 2 exits. So I could understand why you wouldn't do that. I have kids, and now I'm here begging you to please put up a no outlet sign. One more thing before you run me out of time. Contrary to your belief, I have the ability to think for myself, and that ability you clearly lack when you watch all of your past meetings, and it's quite hypocritical. Every time somebody questions you, you're defensive. So you know what? I went back and listened to all of you. I'm not the first person you personally attacked. And you know what? I want to be the last. So Faye Smith, you are incompetent of your current position, and I implore you to resign. I'm done.
Anybody else have anything for public comment? All right, this time we'll close public comment. All right, we need the approval of the minutes on our last meeting of October 27th.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of October 27th, 2020.
My second.
Money.
Yes.
Saltzman.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right. Next, I'd like to say that our Halloween was awesome. Throughout the town, over at the park, I actually had fun. It was good to see all the people out having fun. I think the park did a good job. All the volunteers and stuff for the trunk thing, that was very cool.
There was, I don't mean to interrupt you, Mr. Mayor. There were 323 kids came through, and I figured that would go good. But when I seen them start backing up, parking, the way they came in, I was wondering how they're gonna get them circle out and get through there, because we kind of timed between every car and how far they went. And I said, I hope we have enough time. It went all really nice, and it was really nice, and it was nice to see the guy in the hearse. I went and visited with him. I don't know if you guys had saw him. Quite a character. He lives here in town. And but another thing I want to add to the mayor's comments there, it was a nice time. It was very festive. You could see it They just didn't come out for that. We were lucky we could weigh 500 hot dogs. We had to pack a bunch of stuff, and I'm not sure if I can get the days to take back, because that was a special order because of the epidemic, and that you can't hand out a handful of potatoes, just like we have done in the past. It was really nice, Mr. Mayor, and I appreciate you guys coming around, because I didn't get a chance to see it. I was busy in the back, so I didn't mean to interrupt you. You can go ahead.
No, no problem. I just say it was a good time, it was good to see so many people involved, especially with everything's going on. The weather was beautiful. We went through common states at one point, it was like a sea of people.
The kids loved to go into the park. They didn't even have to get out of their car. They just sat back and just let us go. It was a whole lot better than walking. And all the parents are like, this is a lot easier than having to carry these two for 5 miles all the way down. So it was very good.
Very good, good job by everybody. All right, next, Tony. Oh, we've got an ordinance designating meeting dates and times for the holiday observations in 2021 for the corporate authorities and plan commission for the city of Braidwood.
I make that motion.
I'll second it.
Paulson,
Yes.
Money,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes,
motion carried.
all right, now,
All right, I have one thing, I was talking to the mayor, we were kinda going over, kinda where we stand in the budget now compared to where we were at different dates. And, so we took the last year of the previous council before us from May 1st to November 3rd. We checked out expenses, and expenses from them on that time frame were $4,297,510. The current council, from the same exact time frame, is only at $2,563,636. A difference of $1,733,874 less in the same time period in that year. This does not even count the $150,000 loan that the previous mayor took out, or we had a $75,000 check that came from the asset forfeiture into the general funds. We had a copy of the treasury report I just got from Kyle, showing that our total expenditures are looking to be about $164,000 higher than our total revenues. So budget's kind of going to be around $164,000 short. A lot of that's going to come back by grants that we've received, and we're just we got partial for the MXUs. We got about 50,000 back so far, and the other ones they just got finished up and we got them turned in. So we should have that money back here within, usually it's been 30 days or less they've been on that. So with both of them, hopefully we're, only pushing under $100,000 in debt. I'm gonna need some directions from the council on one thing. Next meeting, we're having a ordinance coming through to amend the budget for the street department. At this point in time, if they stay on the same arrow they're on now, they're gonna be 50 to 60,000 over budget. And the ordinance they're wanting to do, they're wanting to move one guy from part-time to full-time, and also employ a whole nother full-timer, which between the two of them is gonna be roughly 130,000 between the two with benefits, which is gonna put the street department somewhere around 215 to 225,000 over budget. I've talked to some of the people down there. We're gonna be putting some culverts in down at the other end of town this week, and they told me that they were told by their commissioner, Mr. Smith, not to use Doug's guys, which are available to help, so that way they could show that they need more people to work. So I need direction from you guys, because we have the part-timers actually working 80 hours a week, and I spoke to Wayne about it. He agreed that we couldn't move them to full-time at this time on what to do, because we can't work a part-timer that many hours. So you guys
need to tell me what you want me to do. Like I said, I've already spoke to Wayne, but I wanted to bring it up to the whole council and, have somebody give me direction on what to do with the part-timer that's working 80 plus hours.
Right now, I don't have the paperwork in front of me right now, but, I went through the budget and I found, X amount of dollars that we can finish off here. I don't
Okay,
have
but
it right now.
at this point in time though, according to state statute, which I do have a whole stack, 17 sheets here of different papers from state, federal, and local, that says that we cannot, until we either appropriate funds, do the amendment to the budget, we can't move somebody from part-time, we can't hire above our money that we have. So like we spoke before, if you guys are gonna appropriate the budget or do whatever you're gonna do with it at that time, then I would suggest that you could move him to full-time. At this time, we have not crossed any of the Ts or dotted any of the Is to make it a legal hire. So do we keep doing it the improper way, or do we follow the rules? That's my question. Because at this time, even Kyle came to me and said, he's a part-timer, we can't be working him 80 hours, what do you want me to do? I said, I have to talk to Wayne, because I don't, it's not my area. I talked to Faye, and he says he could do whatever he wants, so he's putting him in full-time. But there's no paperwork that shows that we can legally do that until the funds are appropriated, which may or may not be the next meeting, depending on how everyone gets together. And as I spoke with Kyle and I spoke with Brian a little bit, and if I'm not incorrect, only funds can be moved around inside of that one fund, which would be the street department. And the street department fund at this time has a expenditure so far of $147,000 and a few dollars, and it only has a balance of $111 to finish the year off. So I don't know where you're gonna get money to take from there to spend an additional $125,000 plus for employees. So I just have to bring this out here and let you guys make that decision. Like I said, I guess if we're bringing it to the council for the next meeting, you guys can do it then. All I can tell you is that at this time, after speaking with our attorney, our accountant, or everybody, with that we should not be working somebody full-time hours if they are legally part-time. Anybody?
You want a comment on it now?
Yes, sir, please.
That part-time guy has been made full-time and lawfully 2 months ago. It just had never, and I have paperwork saying I hired and a party because I needed it, and I got a lot to tell you what's happened last 2 weeks when I get to mine. But right now, that part-time is full-time.
Can you please correct me, Mr. Attorney, if I'm mistaken? Can you,
You can move
promote
it
or hire
around like
over
you have on
your
everything else.
appropriated budget?
You cannot spend above the appropriated budget. If you're spending above the appropriated budget, every dollar, every action taken above it is void, it's null and void. Meaning you cannot authorize that payment. The question is, are these expenses above the appropriations? I don't know that for sure. I'm not that intimate with the budget. I would rely on the cash barracks to lend that knowledge. But if you talk to them and they're saying that what moving someone from part-time to full-time in that department would bring it over, then those expenditures would be null and void.
Section 65 ILCS
I have my
5/8-1-7.
And you can move it around. And I am legal. Now, I am legal. And I know I'm legal.
You can amend, the city can amend the budget,
Yeah.
but the state has to,
But he's want me to bring all, I never, no. I vote, you don't have to vote me to heart. It's not in that book. I was in.
I'm not questioning that part at all,
What I
sir.
elected to do is to hire and fire and run the street department and everything is attached to it.
Within the appropriated budget. At this time, just by, moving our part-timer to full-timer will cost us an additional $30,000, which in wintertime, of course, we know that we have less work to do. So, I'm just bringing this to the council. It's not my say to say yes or no.
Well, you
Mayor
cut my
asked me to
budget
please
so-
check the
cut my
budgets
budget
and-
so bad to get your way. And you saved all this money, and now I'm in trouble. Now.
You're not in trouble, sir.
Well,
You have
wait till I get to my, to where I can say what we've done last, and I'll have my say then.
We have, at this point in time.
Now, I know I'm not gonna break the law. I'm willing to take my little salary I got, throw it in there, if you guys will. No problem, I work for nothing.
You do understand we work full-time for a living, and that's what's brought ultimate rides to town, that's what's brought the golf carts to town, that we're speaking with multiple other businesses. So it's not the same giving up $200 a month compared to our salaries.
I work.
But I'm just bringing this, I have no say-so, I have no, nothing to say.
Listen,
If you guys wanna approve him to
I've
spend,
been here over 50 years, and I've worked hard to save that money, and I like this town, or I went to Florida and retired, and I'm not a newcomer now.
understand,
And I know, this guy, listen, I have had, he can get in there and do work. He worked that skidder over, and he's underpaid bad.
I'd like to point out to the public and everyone that the last council has spent $1,733,874 more in the amount of time from May 1st to November 1st, all of which was approved in full by all the previous council. Mr. Smith was on this council that approved this $2 million expenditure. Also, he approved the transfer of money from the water funds for $2,300,000+ to make up this debt. Am I correct? Just to cover this debt. So if we want to see a line of how it's going, by hiring over the budget, by approving all this $1,733,000. I don't want to blow it up at all. This was all approved, $150,000 loan that went somewhere. These were all expenditures approved by Mr. Smith.
Wayne, isn't it true that we agreed on all this 5 and 5 with no questions? And that's but I didn't get that. That backed up. They promised one thing and then back up.
That was the,
Okay, let's go on. I'm not changing anything on that.
So,
I got some
I just
things
want to
explain.
make
I
sure
got a
I'm
lot of
clear
things to explain.
that we're gonna put a part-timer to full-time without proper paperwork, of which he's never had drug tests, background
Listen,
checks,
it's
none.
proper paperwork,
All you gotta do
it's
is tell
been
me.
done, it's been lost. I went in there and I told him, make this man full.
I've asked you multiple times, can we please have his application? Can we please have his drug test? Can we please have his background check, which I checked with Mr. Lyons? He has done none of the above, no background check, no.
I checked them.
Also, I've had another call this week that said, hey, I applied for the laborer's job for the city. Where's my application at? And I said, I don't know, Mr. Smith has all the application with everybody's social security number and personal information at his house. I don't have any access to that. So that's a question I need to answer.
I'm not gonna argue, please.
I don't wanna argue either, I'm just
I'm ready
bringing
to quit.
the facts
But
for
are
the
you
city out.
pushing me to get a lawyer to defend myself?
No,
I'm not
sir,
gonna be walking on all
absolutely
this.
not.
I've been walking on this whole entire time. Badly. Now let's go on.
Just bringing up the numbers, Mr.
Right,
You know what, the mayor, myself, Todd, Doug, we all spend a lot of time keeping the budget to where it's gonna be. Except for this COVID. COVID is just beating us to death. Our restaurants are closing, we're not having gaming taxes, we're down a few $100,000, so we're doing everything we can to struggle and get by. I'm suggesting as the city administrator, and knowing, been here last year and what needs to be done and how many people need to do it, and owning my own construction business for 25 plus years, and I have knowledge in this matter that if we could wait, which I spoke to Mr. Salzman, until next budget time, we can rearrange money so that you could put other people full-time or on, whether we need them or not. But right now, I'm trying to figure out how to do this couple $100,000 shortfall we have.
I'm spending
Now I
less than
gotta
any
double
of it.
that.
I spend less than any of it. And doing more work.
I'm done. I just wanted to put this out there to let everybody know this is where we're at. This will be coming up on the next council meeting. You'll be asking to spend this $120,000 to $140,000 extra. I'm not sure where it's gonna come from, because according to the research in the state, calling down in Springfield, we're only able to move money around in this street department. There's only $111,000 left to finish the year off for everybody. He wants to put $130,000 for 2 employees, plus we need another $100,000 to finish paying the guys that are there. That's all I'm saying.
My budget has been cut, I've got 6 people my budget's supposed to have, and I've only got you drop them down, and you like to drop them down to none.
Can I make one question? Mr. Lyons, how many people have you lost? Did I not ask you, and did we not work, and how many people did we
I'm
go
down eight full-timers when I started, a secretary, and I had my own mechanic that's gone, that you guys approved. So I'm down
So
8
he's down
full-time
8.
officers,
I know.
I'm down 1 mechanic and 1 secretary. So we're sacrificing, but we're sacrificing because the situation that the city's in. And the worst thing you can do for a city is overhire. I don't know your situation, but you can't overhire. I didn't know anything about budgets until I became here in Braidwood, and I made myself an expert. I studied our income, studying our budget. We spent hours going through every line item to see where we could cut costs, because Braidwood they would have went bankrupt. They were going to sell the water plant. We found paperwork. They were selling the water plant to Aquafina. If people really knew what really happened in this town, or what could have happened in this town, and it seems like you're trying to do the same thing. It's nothing personal. I know. I come in every day. We talk budgets every single day. I walk over. We go over numbers and where we're at. How can we help Braidwood? Because we love Braidwood. We care. And we're all the guys are making the sacrifices too. We're letting part-timers. We're violating our collective bargaining agreement. And the guys are going along with it because they understand the situation that the city's in.
And that does not
My
even...
budget's been lower, and I've followed it, and once when you follow it, and you do right, it penalizes you for doing right. And that's no good. You should save that money and let it lap over, and lap over. And that's what I've done ever since I've been here for the 14 years. But now, they cut me so bad, I can't.
Since you're talking to me,
No.
and you're looking, I'm going to ask you, do you know how much revenue we bring in as a city as far as sales tax? Do you know what that number is?
Right now, you probably.
Do you have any idea what? Do you know what it was last year or Fay or the year before?
It's been cut, I'm sure of that.
No, I mean, the average is like, if you look it up online, what is it, like 400,000 we bring in? What, Coal City brings in? Like, what, 6 something? And
600.
Wilmington brings in 9. So we don't bring in the revenue that the other cities do in our area. So we can't have the same
Coal City's got a
expenditures.
factory, Coal City's got things.
That's what I'm saying, we don't have that
We don't
stuff.
have.
And that's what I try to explain to our guys. We wanna hire more guys, we wanna do more things, but because we don't have that revenue, we can't do it. So we have to change, we have to adjust what we
And I'm
do.
gonna show you how much money I have saved.
That's...
The last 2 weeks. Hundreds of thousands.
And
I'm
that-
going to, let me tell my save when my time comes.
And that's why, just throwing it up there too, this weekend, I was just driving through town, I saw one of Aubrey's lights on his truck down here on the road. They had a water main break down here on, I don't know, whatever this is by the trailer court here. I go down there just to see if they needed a hand. They have a suck truck out there, the backhoe's out there, the dump truck's out there, everything. 4 guys, 7.5, 8 feet down in the ground, did it with no problem. Worked together. Doug's guys work great with Faye's guys. Faye's guys work great with Doug's guys. They really upset me a lot and brought me to this when I was told by them that they were told, you do not use his guys even if they're doing nothing, because I need to prove that we need more people. That was really upset my stomach.
Listen, if you don't need a commissioner for streets today, then you take over. That's what you wanna do. It's in
I
the
would love
book.
to work with you,
And
Faye.
that, our do it, and you ain't letting me.
I would love to.
I
work with you.
cannot run this city
That's all I have, I'll let you have your time,
and do
Fay.
it with him on my back.
I'm
And
not-
I'm not
like-
here to
I'm
call
not-
where you're out of order so much.
All right, our
Let's
city
move
clerk.
on.
City clerk.
I have nothing, thank you.
All right. All right, Dave, our engineer, is not here today. Brian is here today, our city attorney.
I have nothing to report tonight, Mayor, thank you.
Okay. All right, accounts and financing.
Okay, catch up here, my thoughts, okay. I make a motion to approve the payment of the bills, $119,449.34. Make that motion.
Could you restate the amount?
$119,449.34.
Thank you. I second it.
Sullivan,
Yes.
Money,
Yes.
Smith. Smith,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
motion carried.
The second thing I have is, payroll expense, $125,500.12. I make that motion for payroll.
I'll second that.
Sullivan,
Yes.
Money,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
that motion carried.
That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
All right, streets and public improvement.
Now we're gonna get in, for the last 2 weeks. Now look, I'm working with antique stuff. Everything I ain't bought, everything I got junk, and I'm trying to work it. Now, I don't know how much heart we've caused it. But they worked on that skidder a whole week, every one of them, to get it going. And then they had to replace all it. And a lot of trucks had to take them to down there. And I've been busy all for the last 2 weeks. And they've been working on it. And if I had to set them out, you'd have about probably $150,000 to pay. And then you're on me about my help, there ain't no counting all this and that. They done a good job, and it's working. That skidder, the cat, they had it tore all apart. And there ain't too many places that could do that, but they got it back in shape good. And they worked all week, all of them. But I guess they ain't doing nothing. And that part-time guy that he says that I've hired full-time is a fine little mechanic. And everything he does, and pick on him, they've been picking on me, so I wonder he hasn't quit. I hired him, I know, and he does not. Drug test me anytime he wants to, I don't care, he gonna pass it. He don't even smoke, he don't, and kick after that. Yes, you go on, you can check. I check everybody. Should be some that's been hard, should have been checked, but they didn't. And I didn't bring them up here from be voting, but the law says I don't have to. What I was elected to do, I'm doing. And I'm not breaking no law. I just can't get no help. Now I'm gonna tell you something. You're talking about that subdivision is not completed yet. There'll be another one, and cul-de-sacs, we don't put them there. And I got a sign up there, kids are playing, it's speed limit 25. And they go down there. We got a number of cul-de-sacs here. We have no dead end outlets. We don't have that. And there's a light that's I think it's you that was talking over here on Washington. It's state, and it's railroad over there, and it's got a lot of, and there wasn't a light there. Now, if I have Edison to put a light there, very between the lot, there is a light in the street. It would be, the state would get privilege of the light. Now, people don't know it. City pays for these lights. They don't give us this light bills. We pay to put them up. And that would be a state light if you wanted one there. So I'm trying to do the best I can. Now, Terry, I want to ask you something. Would you please, I'm begging him, get off my back.
This information is to make sure you're doing it legally, so you're not liable for anything. Am I speaking out of turn? Anything I'm telling him about the hiring, the spending over budget, is it me or is it actually in the law, in the ordinance, state ordinances?
Show it to me.
Yeah, it's in the state statute.
I'll wait till next meeting, I'll bring it next meeting. I'll bring my stuff here. You know, I'm going.
This came from.
I hate that budget, and I let it all. And what we agreed on, they're backing up on. Wayne, didn't they agree 5 and 5? Wayne, I didn't get them.
What Tony's bringing up is a budgetary issue, not a hiring issue. So we're not saying.
Listen, I spend a lot of time, I pay my own gas in my own car, and I go down there. I know you're talking, I've seen that so many times,
That's the law.
yeah, but I can show you what it's,
I'm not,
that law don't kind of about it, mine.
all I'm doing is, the mayor asked me to look it up, so when and if a lawsuit comes, we're not paying.
I appreciate you trying, but somehow or another, you are a lawyer for them, but you never have for nothing for me.
I'm a lawyer for the city.
Yeah, but
I'm a lawyer for only
don't
the
I
city,
work for the
not for
city?
any individual person. And we've had this
Now listen.
discussion outside of council.
Now, Terry, I don't pick at you when you get out of your jurisdiction of your job.
Mr. Smith, there's one budget, it's the city's budget. That statute that you're being handed applies to every single municipality, whether it's commission form, managerial, or otherwise. It applies to every single department throughout the state of Illinois. What that says is that you cannot, any single budget cannot be exceeded. It doesn't matter what your excuse is, you have to amend the budget first. There are even situations where emergencies happen, where you make an emergency motion to amend the budget. No budget can be amended
They
without
made an
coming to
agreement, and I
council.
okayed that agreement. That would take it out.
We're
5 and 5.
I'm aware of
Back
that,
up, didn't it?
I'm aware of that, and the city is aware of that, but that was never finalized in an ordinance. But besides that, even if that was the case, you would still have to then amend a budget to provide for those people.
Well, they went over the budget,
The
here
city-
so bad, it's pitiful all the time.
The city could promise you 100 employees in 2021, but they would still have to amend the budget to provide for all of those employees. So there may have been an informal suggestion that you would potentially be able to have those many employees. It would still have to match the budget. You can't exceed the appropriations. Wayne is aware of it, Kyle Kasparik's aware of it. We have a budget, a proposed budget amendment ordinance prepared, and it will be on the, I believe on the next agenda, where it sets forth the procedures to pass an amended budget. You can't just erase a number, put in a number, like while the doors are closed. You have to do it in front of the city council. It has to be done in front of the public, has to be approved the same way that the original budget's approved.
Now, you were sitting here. When Wayne, didn't they agree? 5 and 5.
Yes, well, okay.
Okay, Faye's definitely right, Wayne.
Well,
They
I
did
know
spend
that,
over the budget all the time.
But here's the thing too. We cut Faye's budget, and probably was money in there to get his raise. But we went along with Kyle and to start off the new year and with up-to-date past budget. And that's where the problem is, Faye. So we're going to have at the next meeting we'll discuss this more.
But we are good where we're at now.
I
If he just
understand.
stayed without the hiring, we could make it to
I
the
have
budget.
already hired him, and it's lawful, and I'm not laying him off. Now, Terry, I'll take you to court before I'll back up on that.
Again, he's right, I'm agreeing 100% with Faye. They've always, for the last 4 years, spent way over the budget. One minor thing he forgot to tell you is that everything came across this table and that he approved all the expenditures. So this is showing a pattern on how it's starting again already. We don't care how much money, let's just keep spending.
Let's go on, that's enough. Let's move on.
All right, Doug.
Thank you.
That's all I got. I just want to try my best, and I'll listen. I will work with you people in every way I can, but let's not put it all on me. And that's the way it's been going. Wake up and help me, and I'll bend over for you.
Just for another reason to help you, Faye, just for information, I looked up on your street light. If the city doesn't want to do it, the homeowner can request one from ComEd, and they would only have to pay like $15 to $20 a month to pay for that light if they wanted to do it. Any homeowner that out there wants a light in front of your house, you can get it through ComEd. You just have to be the one to pay for it. So then you don't have to worry about it.
But listen, I'll tell you something else though. I have a light in front of my garage. They got these real lights down now, and it costs me practically nothing. I would say $3 or $4 a month at the most, and I light up the whole front street and everything. And it's that LED lights, and it don't cost nothing hardly to put them up for people to do it. And I've got it. You drive by and you'll see. You read from the street with my light.
You got a street light too, huh?
Yeah, but I override that street light.
Yeah.
But that
Who
street
pays for
light
that
is
street light?
state, that's
Let's go
state,
on, let's go on.
that's state.
Go ahead.
We installed new rain cap at the sewer plant storage garage. We ordered a new heater for the plant storage garage. It was gonna cost more to fix the old one than to replace it. They're only about $300. Mississippi Valley Pump was here, finished the inspections of the sewer influent plants and changed the plant drainage pump. Fixed the valve risers and parking area for tower number 2 on Maple Street. Pipe company was here, rebuilt our 8-inch raw water piping that was leaking. This is the pipe that goes from the water plant outside to the equipment outside. They were gonna try to fix it, and they were actually able to make a new piece to replace it. The old one was 26 years old, and it corroded pretty bad. Winterized the ferric chloride lines for phosphorus removal. Reprogrammed the middle hatch sensor. Replaced the bad power eye for the street lights on Main Street. Cleaned the bio-building shop floor. Took the UV out of service for the winter. Took both racks out. Got them all in maintenance shop, put all the bulbs in, and we got 17,000 hours out of 12,000 hour bulbs, so that worked out pretty nice. We got an extra 5,000 hours. And we completed our project of replacing all the MXUs in town. Every facility in town, every house and business now has an MXU, so we have no more contact point where somebody's walking up to a house or a business to read the water meter. It's all drive-by now.
Let me ask a question. That's a little black line.
Yeah, it's the beige one that snaps over it now. Yep, they got them all done. They actually nearly had 100 of them installed in one day. George and Aubrey just did an awesome job on that. But that's all I have. Thank you.
Good job.
All right, public health and safety, Charlie's under the weather. Planning and zoning.
Okay, on November 2nd, the Planning and Zoning Commission met for a hearing on the City of Braidwood's proposal to amend Braidwood zoning ordinance, section 23-4, building on lots to set a minimum square footage requirement of 1,200 square feet for all new construction on single-family dwellings in single-family residence districts. At the meeting, there was no public comment, and no citizens were opposed to the amendment present at the hearing. The board voted 6-0 to recommend the city council to approve the amendment to apply to first floor of ranch or bi-level homes and tri-level and quad-level single-family dwellings shall be no less than 1,200 square feet of combined first and second floor living space.
So after the planning commission, met, there were some holes that the administration had to fill. We weren't really sure how to word, bi-level, tri-level, and the potential of a quad-level home with that square footage, since it's broken up a little bit differently than a ranch or a two-story typically would have. So, I think, Teresa, do you know do they have both drafts in front of them, or just the final?
They do, and I put the updated over here as well for the public.
Okay, so there was one draft that went out in the agenda packet where it had some underlying portions where it showed you we were changing the language. Since the agenda went out, we've made further changes. So if you have the ordinance in front of you, it would be under section 2. If there is no underlining in it, then that's the most updated version. And that provides that every ranch or two-story dwelling shall be no less than 1,200 square feet on the first floor living space. Every bi-level, tri-level, and quad-level shall have combined 1,200 square feet in the combined first and second floor living space. So that would not account for garage square footage. Other than that, the changes are really just organizational. The way that we broke it out with a ranch and a two-story home and the remaining multi-level homes, I restructured it, but those are the big changes. Adding in the minimum square footage and separating them out into essentially, treating them two different ways.
This should have been done a long time ago. I'm glad to see this in the paper, Teresa. It's a long time coming. This should have been done a long time ago. That's my feeling for it. It was a good call.
So we need a motion to pass?
I make the motion.
I'll second.
Osborne,
Yes.
Money,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes,
Jones,
Yes.
motion carried.
it does cut out to 2 bedrooms. I know, I've been building mine home.
All right, anybody got anything under old business? New business? Our next regular city council meeting is Tuesday, November 24th, 7 o'clock. Need a motion to adjourn.
I make that motion.
I'll second.
Osborne,
Yes.
Money,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
we are adjourned.
You can't play ball, so I'm heading out, guys. So let's see how it is.